I have the right as a scrutiny committee member to actually call in with two others. There's three of you needed to call in a decision, and effectively that stops the decision continuing until it's been investigated further. So there will be a date set in a week or so's time where we can actually meet again and discuss this in detail.
And is that a meeting of the whole council?
No, it'll be just a meeting of the scrutiny committee, but of course the whole council and the public are allowed to go to that. It's a public meeting.
Will there be a full council debate on this issue?
I am not 100% sure of that. I think there should have been. I mean, this is a big issue. We should have really approached it in that fashion. And the people of Cornwall also need to know. After all, the Mayor of Truro didn't even know this was going forward. So it really needs revisiting again and investigating properly.
This is a personal comment, but I think it's absolutely barking mad. I think the timing is appalling. I think it will be seen by the public just as gambling, speculating with what they see as their money, not the council money. If we were staying in Europe, if we had a good chance of being successful, if we knew how much money it would cost overall, where other money would come from, like the private sector, the businesses who would benefit, it might be arguable, but it isn't. I'm fully in support of trying to improve the culture and the infrastructure of Cornwall, but this is not the way to guarantee to do it. It is a highly risky venture, and I think the people who are behind it haven't proven their case.
Now, we've heard that for this bid really to go forward in October, it's going to need to be able to demonstrate a broad base of community support. There will need to be cross-party support. The Conservatives have already come out and said that they're not in favour of it. If there are, shall I say, cracks in the Liberal Democrat group on this, it's dead in the water even before it gets going, isn't it?
It's probably fair to say that the Liberal Democrat group as a group hasn't discussed this. Our cabinet members took individual views heavily based upon the advice that officers gave them. If the Liberal Democrats have influence after the election, it will be subject to much more discussion, much more involvement, and we'll see what the outcome is then.
It's going to be highly risky to go into an election campaign with this around anybody's neck as a candidate, isn't it?
Well, it's up to individuals to defend their position. I'm totally clear. I'm telling the electors now, with my fellow Liberal Democrat councillor in St Austell, Jackie Ball, that we're totally against it. We're pro-culture, we're pro-economic development, but we're not in favour of this, and we will fight it all the way.
Given that we are where we are, and you have to be able to demonstrate a broad base of community support and cross-party support, let me put it to you that it's dead in the water even before it starts.
I'm really excited about the opportunities of European Capital of Culture for Cornwall. We've had strong support for it. The Vice Chair of the committee that looks at it is a senior Liberal Democrat. He's very supportive. The 5 Liberal Democrat cabinet members on the cabinet voted for it. So it'll be interesting to see what actually does happen in the Liberal Democrat group. We've had fantastic response from across the whole of Cornwall, from Sturts to the Tate, from Truro Business Improvement District. So a really good groundswell of support from across the whole of Cornwall, and really great benefits of taking this forward. So we'll see what happens. If there is a call in, that's to be decided, and we'll see how this plays out. But I'm convinced that there's great benefits for the residents of Cornwall. That's why I'm a councillor, because I want to benefit our residents, and I think this project does.
And you'll be happy to go knock on doors during the election campaign saying that you want to spend more than £500,000 of taxpayers' money on this Truro Capital of Culture bid?
Well, it's a Cornwall bid. Truro is our city, but it's for the whole of Cornwall, and absolutely I'll be standing at the elections and I'm accountable to my electorate. So if they disagree, then they may well choose someone else, and we'll see how that goes.
But you're confident that the bid's going to remain in place following last week's cabinet decision through to May and through to polling day on the 4th of May?
Well, we've made a decision. My understanding is that there's an attempt to call that decision in. We'll see whether that happens. If it does, then we'll need to go through the process. So whether it's council policy or not by the 4th of May remains to be seen, but personally I support it.